Dear women, I am not a bear, but I would be, if you'd like me. In the human world, I would grow, so that one day a message of chivalry and equality I could bestow. I would learn of your struggles, so in the future you would feel safe with my snuggles. I would be taught that every man and woman is the same, and should be treated that way. Bear, not my animal of choice. I would have been a horse, a squirrel, or a tortoise. Flipside, the horse would gallop with a fine stride. You and I would have quite a ride. Flipside, the squirrel would jump from tree to tree, having you follow me to the finish line where you and I will be. Flipside, the tortoise would slowly guide you through the forest for hours, enough time to sniff all the pretty flowers. But even Flipside, the bear doesn't need to be a creep in the woods to get some sleep. If I was a bear, I'd lift you up into a tree and fill your heart with glee, so that you could see that the earth doesn't have to be full of men who are predatory, because we can make our own story. I would catch you fish that looked so neat, we can cook a dinner full of meat. If I was a bear, to the lake, memories of swimming we would make. You'd have so much fun in the water, it would seem the sun never got any hotter. I would pass down lessons like the ones from my mother to show men they don't have to be a bother. If I was a bear, I would never attack a woman. I would yearn to teach the herd, and the people would thank me. Together we'd be a society of love, of safety, and anti-suffrage people. If I was a bear, I'd bring down the systematic patriarchy that makes women's life unlucky. I'd lead by example, retaining my mother's name, so I would be Flipside B. Anthony Vids. If I was a bear, my fellow women would be able to leave the wilderness trail without being kidnapped or end up as a statistic in white male America, where a woman just gets raped. If she's female, she just gets raped. A real bear doesn't hide behind claws and teeth, but instead conquers the hurt underneath. If I was a bear, I'd be a liberal and democratic leader who would burn the sexist literature in schools and teach elementary school children feminism. Never again would a man's fist be aimed at a blonde woman's jaw. If I was a bear, I'd learn how women's rights came afloat, so I'd stop myself from giving a Republican a vote. If I was a bear, I'd listen to rap and play football in high school, so I could screw all the hot girls. Maybe then I wouldn't end up as a loser virgin. If I was a bear, I would raise a strong, independent woman who wouldn't need a man to help jumpstart her car. If I was a bear, I wouldn't restrict my daughter's internet access. She could watch LGBTQIA+ content on TikTok and listen to Sexy Red at 13 years old, hopefully crafting a traditional Christian woman with moral values that stay true through her teen years. If I was a bear, I would follow California Governor Gavin Newsom on my daughter's Twitter account so she has a good role model on her For You timeline. I would be accountable and responsible for my little baby girl. I would vaccinate her not just once or twice, but thrice. If I was a bear, I'd transition to a female bear in track and field. I would dominate the women's championships and records to become the nation's very best. I'd become like my own mother in a way, a complete animal that would shred anyone who thinks they're faster than her. If I was a bear, I'd never offend a woman again. I'd treat her like a queen. If I ever found a man in the woods mistreating a woman, I'd claw that big guy off and feed it to the gators, if you catch my drift. Imagine if Andrew Tate was a feminist icon. Then would you call her a bitch? If I was a bear, I would watch She-Hulk and the Marvels so that I can learn about how a real hero acts. A real hero uses her super strength, not sexism, to defend our planet from the clutches of Sauron and the army of Mordor. What makes a bear? How about what makes an animal? If If I was a bear, oh, the things I would become. Putting into words what my transbearmation would bring women in these times would take 1 trillion leaves and twigs. So instead, I leave this poem for the next time you are wondering, what if you were a bear? In short, it would really be something